Well, it's Tuesday, and you all know what that means. As you know, Baka Gaijin is back with another volume, and this one is 17, featuring a bit of a, how do I say, Halloween theme, basically. So it's really fun. We only have 3 matches involving that. So we're going to go through all of them. And then, of course, we have NXT. As you know, we entered the aftermath after Halloween Havoc. We do have a casket match, we have a Heritage Cup match, and of course, Zaria makes her the in-ring debut after making appearances. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. And of course, we have the NXT tag team titles on the line as well. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing, of course, the Stardom Goddesses of Stardom Tag League, the annual tournament where tag teams will be getting an opportunity, hopefully for a chance, of the Goddesses tag team titles against Hate members Momo Watanabe and Tekla. But the real question is who will be going there? Well, we're going to be seeing a whole lot of it as we get closer. But after that, we'll be closing our entire episode with some news updates to give you guys an update on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, I can put it either on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Nike Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have set aside, I believe it's time for takeoff. So, let's begin with, of course, with the opening round of Stardom's Goddesses of Stardom Tag League. Okay, Stardom, the opening round of Goddesses of Stardom Tag League. Now, those who are not familiarized with this tournament, those who are, well, you guys are on the same bus with me. Anyway, for those who don't, let me explain this one. Much like any Japanese tournament we've seen, this is also like their tag team round robin tournament of sorts. Basically, kind of like the Super Junior Tag League as well. Basically, 2 blocks. Instead of like block A and block B, it's blue goddesses and red goddesses. So basically, I will be initiating which one of the goddesses blocks will be involved. Winner of the tournament will be getting an opportunity, a chance of the tag team titles, the Goddesses of Stardom, which currently are being in the possession of Hate members consistent of Momo Watanabe and Tekla. Last year we had Megan Bain and Micah, but we all know where Megan Bain is at. Micah still remains in Stardom. So we will see. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fan favorites, but the one team I definitely want to see win is Shuri and Saki Kashima. Those are, to me, that's my number one pick. So forgive me for saying that, guys, but that's what I want. But anyway, um, our first match, we start with two matches of the Blue Goddesses. We have Kohaku and Mei Seira teaming up. They take on Cosmic Angel members and former tag champions Sayuri Anu and Natsupoi. So yeah, very interesting. Naomi Kahuko, who comes from Wave, she has teamed up with Mei Seira and Starlight Kid recently, and they seem like they hit it off. Um, but yeah, so I wasn't expecting too much, but however, it was Sayuri Anu who picked up the win with the Temps Tendre onto Kahaku, giving her and her attack partner 2 points, while of course Kahaku and Mei receive 0. As we continue with the Blue Goddesses, we have EXV members Rian and Waka Tsukiyama versus God's Eye, consisting of Lady C and Hina. Now, I know some of you would think in some capacity Rian, who is the rookie of the team, most likely be the target. Well, Waka was the one who picked up the win on Lady C with the Aussie suplex on Hina, and just like that, it was over. So she picked up 2 points for her team. I mean, you would have assumed that this match should have been followed with God's Eye, since we know that Lady C and Hina had the most experience, but we'll see where that goes. Now, our next two matches are part of the non-tournament matches. First one, we have Rana Yagami, Saida, and Suzuki from 3 different units. They take on EXV members Hanako, Mina Shirakawa, and Maika. So basically, we know that Maika and Zuzu have some sort of history because of their past last year and all that. But however, it was Mina Shirakawa that picked up the one with the implant DDT on Rana Yagami, winning the match. Our next match, we have Hate members consistent of Rina and Momo Watanabe taking on Haruka Umasaki and Starlight Kid. Now, remember, Starlight Kid and Haruka Umasaki have teamed up before, when, of course, Kid was still a member of Oedo Tai before she was kicked out. However, this match became chaotic, out of control. They were fighting outside the ring most of the time, but it ended in a double count out under 10 minutes and 43 seconds. However, in the post-match comment, those who remember this, I did review Diana's recent event where Aruka Amasaki and Momo Watanabe faced off each other. But now Momo is really pissed off that she comes in her turf, and she's telling her not to come back. Well, she'll come back. She'll probably come back to Stardom eventually, but we just don't know when. Now our next match, our next 3 matches, we is part of the Red Goddesses block. So we have 3. Our first we have Psych Queen, consistent of Hate members Saya Kamitani and Konami, taking on God's Eyes, Saki Kashima and Shuri. Now remember, in this particular match, we do have. Hold on a second. Bueno. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. No problem. Okay. 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 No problem. Okay. Bye. Sorry about that. Anyway, this particular match, as you know, Shuri and Konami still has their deep grudge after Konami betrayed Shuri to rejoin Oda Tao. Later, they convert into hate. So I'm sure this is a bit of a, how to say, they get even with her. But luckily, the entire time Konami tried to punish Shuri in any way possible. Well, luckily, she was able to overcome it by submitting Konami and giving her team the 2 points. So this is one of those moments where, of course, Shuri will be satisfied until she finally obliterates Konami. So we will see that singles match at some point. Now, our next match revolving the Red Goddesses block, we have O2 line, consisting of members from Neo Genesis, consistent of Miyu Amasaki and Azumi, taking on Peach Rock, consistent of star members Momo Kogo and Mayu Iwatani. Now, this is going to be a little interesting because, as you know, Peach Rock did not have the necessary type of cohesion. They have Momo, tries to together as much as possible, but luckily she was able to overcome anything after the whole ordeal. But it was, of course, Mayu with the dragon suplex onto Azumi that allowed her to pick up the win. However, during the post match, Momo Watanabe comes out declaring that she is challenging her for the IWGP Women's Championship at the historic crossover. And of course, there's a lot of history between both Momo and Mayu. Remember, long before Momo became a member of Queen's Quest and Odo Tai and then now Hate, they used to be friends and now they're enemies. So basically, she thinks that Mayu does not earn the right to become IWGP Women's Champion. So she thinks she's cocky enough to get away with it. But sooner or later, we'll see what happens. Now, as for our main event, we have BM 2000 consistent of Raka and Natsuko Tora taking on FWC consistent of Koguma and Azuki. Of course, many people would assume Koguma and Azuki being the fan favorites because they have won tag league before and they're one of the most popular tag teams in Stardom. You would think because, of course, Hate members would definitely try to find a way to cheat their way through. Well, you'd be absolutely correct, but it didn't do any well for them because it was Azuki with the Mahestral onto Natsuko Tora that allowed her to pick up the win. So, that was the best news we ever heard. So, I liked it. So, I think that's pretty much it for this one. Let's move on with day 2. Okay, day 2 of Goddesses of Stardom Tag League. Now, remember, we are now in the early stages, so we probably will go out throughout the entire month of October all the way to possibly early November or so. But nonetheless, we already have certain matches that are involved. Now, this one was in Corkin Hall. For anybody who needs to know, this one took place on the 27th, the day after the opening round. However, the first match was more of a 10-woman tag team element match, actually. This one features the Cosmic Angels featuring Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, Sayuri Anu, Natsupoi, Tam Nakano versus Hate, consistent of Raka, Momo Watanabe, Natsuko Tora, and of course, their pals, Zap and Dump Matsumoto. Now, the entirety of this match, well, they were targeting Kurara, like they were treating her like a plaything. And of course, the other Cosmic Angels tried to help as much as possible. But of course, Kurara shown a lot of resilience no matter how many times they tried to pin her or submit her or whack her whatever object, of course, Dump had in her possession. Nothing worked. And then until she got missed, and then big splash by Matsumoto. And then, of course, Matsumoto put out a promo about that show Villains. And, of course, said some bad remarks towards the Cosmic Angels. So, as you know, this whole thing continues to grow between Hate and the Cosmic Angels, as always. But right now, let's move on forward. We'll see what the Cosmic Angels do in future down the line. Now, our next match, we have a block from the Red Goddesses, consistent of God's Eye, Saki Kashima, and Shuri. They face against, of course, FWC, Koguma, and Azuki. But I can tell you this. There was a moment where they wanted, Koguma wanted to get her hands on Shuri for many reasons. Those who know this, Shuri does not play games when it comes to Koguma. Even when Koguma tried to do the Kuma pose, she's not laughing. However, Kashima decided to volunteer. Look, let me deal with her. And she did. And she applied the Kishikase, which was a very impressive win. I wouldn't be surprised if Koguma wants to get revenge on that. Now we jump into the Blue Goddesses. We have Azusa Inaba and Rina versus EXV's Rian and Waka Tsukiyama. Now, of course, You probably would think the same thing like last time, Rian being the weak link of the group. And of course, you would think Rina and Azusa, who have much experience, will play out. But no, Waka took out Azusa with a suplex, and just like that, it was over, giving them the total of 4 points. However, because Waka pinned Azusa, Inaba is most likely would definitely want to have another shot. She probably would like to have another shot of the New Blood tag team belts, which is something she hasn't given up yet. But sooner or later, they will deal with that at some point. Now, our next match is a non tournament match. We have God's Eye, consisting of Rana Yagami, Lady C, and Hina, taking on the combination of Saida, Starlight Kid, and Mina Shirakawa. Of course, it's kind of interesting that certain mix-ups happen, but because of this match, it ended with Ida pinning Lady C, and just like that, it was over. And of course, a promo was posted out in the post-match. Now we jump back to the tournament matches. We have two of them from the Red Goddesses. We have Psych Queen, consistent of Hate members Kamitani and Konami, taking on Star members Peach Rock, Momo Kogo, and Mayu Iwatani. And of course, this was going to be a very interesting development. Of course, Hate being the cheaters that they are, Konami used the black spray can on Mayu to pin her, and just like that, it wouldn't be surprising if somehow Mayu defeats Momo Watanabe in the historic crossover. Konami could easily challenge her, so I wouldn't be surprised if that. So we'll see what happens. Then our next match, we have O2 Line, members from Neo Genesis, Miyu Amasaki and Azumi, taking on EXV's Hanako and Maika. Now, however, this match turned out exactly like I thought, because it was Hanako who picked up the win on Miyu Amasaki by that submission that she learned from, of course, Shinsuke Nakamura. However, because of this match, Hanako may have an opportunity to challenge for the future of Stardom belt, of course. That is something we know she can cash in as soon as possible. So we'll see what happens until then. As for our main event, is the high speed belt. Yuna Mizumori versus Mei Seira. Now, this match happened after the big pay per view that happened back, what was it, last month or so? Yuna Mizumori won a battle, no, earlier this month or so. Yuna Mizumori won a number one contendership battle royal, and then she pinned Mei Seira, and this is how it led. But she did learn. However, this match was very, very, very impressive. She learned a lot, and she grew completely. But however, she ended up with the shooting star by Mei Seira to retain the belt. I don't know what's gonna happen next for Yuna Mizumori, but I would love to see her to try another opportunity for the high speed belt. And of course, Mei Seira did a promo, and don't know what she said. So I think that's pretty much it with Stardom now. So let's move on right now with our next review, and this is from Baka Gaijin and Friends. Excuse me. All right, Baka Gaijin and Friends. So this is their recent event, Volume 17, which you can check out on their YouTube channel. So check it out. Of course, we have Shin Suzuki opening up the show, giving the lowdown of the entirety of the show. Now, our first match, we have a four-way match, and it's kind of funny. Everybody looks like they're dressed like Sailor Moon. I'm not sure. And of course, we have Sayaka being there, who's the only female participating in this match. We have Mao versus Keigo Nakamura and Antonio Honda. So everybody was dressed up as Sailor Moon. And of course, there will be some funny moments, funny things. Of course, Honda doing his usual thing where he stops, tells a story, then just like that. However, I don't know what Mao was thinking, so he decided to win the match by applying the Rainmaker onto Keigo Nakamura. And of course, people were booing him because he had no right to do that. So I don't know, because Mr. Haku, or I think that's his name. Anyway, he actually said that's copyright, which technically sounds like it. So yeah, so Mao cheated by using the Rainmaker. So you guys should check that video out. Now our next match, we have a interesting singles match. We have Munetatsu Nakamura versus Hiroshima. So remember, these two guys are also well, Hiroshima's from DDT. Nakamura is also Munetatsu Nakamura is from Gambari. Nothing special about this match, but what's cool is that there were certain moments where uh, Nakamura was doing like a pull-up bar. There was like a bit of a pipe hanging out, and then later he just doing like pull-ups and then an elbow drop. I thought that was cool. But however, Hiroshima applied the Somataro, which is kind of like a modified version of the Meteora. Instead of using your knees, you just try to tighten your feet closer, and boom, just like that. So picked up the win in that fashion. Now our next match, which is our main event, we have a 6-person tag match. We have Mr. Bueno, Mr. Malo, Ram Kaicho versus Chico Shikawa, Masahiro Takanashi, and Chris Brooks. Now, Chi was dressed up like a zombie, Masa like a vampire, and I don't know exactly what Chris Brooks was dressed up like, but yes. But the match was pretty good. Of course, there was a lot of chaotic and all this other stuff. But however, it was the AOHD by both Masa and Chris Brooks that allowed him to pick the win by pinning Mr. Bueno. And just like that, it was completely over. So, it was real fun. So, check it out, guys. Go on their YouTube channel, Baka Gaijin and Friends, and you see the whole thing. So, we're done with this one, so let's move on with NXT. Okay, NXT. As you know, we entered a fallout after Halloween Havoc this past Sunday. So anything could happen until then. But let's get started. It opened up with the casket match. Now remember, Tatum Paxley had her fair issues towards Wendy Chu when Wendy Chu choked her out a while back, and then now this feud happened. So Wendy Chu once again attacked Tatum Paxley, put her in the box, and then this past Sunday, she reappeared, and then she spun the wheel, resulting into a casket match. Now, remember, you got to put your opponent in the casket. So that's exactly what was going on. But of course, you cannot forget all the kind of plunder they could use when they use a garbage can onto Tatum and just prowl her brains out. And then, of course, she used the Tatum Paxley used the pillow to ensure casket doesn't end. I thought it was great, but the greatest moment is when, of course, Tatum Paxley used a a fire extinguisher to put her out, and she fell down onto the bed, and then in the casket. So Tatum Paxley walks away. Now, as you know, Trick Williams retained the NXT Championship. So he feels that his past with Rich Holland was over. I mean, with Ethan, but now it's Rich Holland who was a problem. And then, of course, Bubba Ray showed up. He explains to him that he didn't just help them out. He felt that Rich Holland disrespected him. His pal, the guy who co-hosts Busted Open Radio, and his show Busted Open Radio. So basically, but Trick even asked him that he would like to team up with him. Oh, that's something, but Bubba feel like he doesn't need to do that because he knows that Trick Williams has a target on his back. But we'll see what happens. Now, of course, Ava was talking with RVD, talking about what they just saw. However, Kalani Jordan showed up, demanding a rematch against Fallon Henley after what just transpired. But Nikita Lyons shows up saying that she had her shot. But this was an unfair advantage. She had to go because in the final match of the gauntlet, of course, Fatal Influence caused the problem. So we'll get to that. Now, Sean Spears was intending to talk to Tony D'Angelo, so I'm going to presume that had something to do with the North American title. However, he was interrupted respectfully by the members of the family, Stax and Luca, and apparently they get a surprise call from someone who's also part of an Italian family. If you guys can guess it, yes, Nunzio from the FBI, the full-blooded Italians. So apparently he's not happy the that the Don of NXT is making his way to Philadelphia. Basically, it's like stepping over his turf. So we'll see what happens. Now, our next match, we have the Heritage Cup. Lexis King versus Charlie Dempsey. So Charlie Dempsey picked up the first round with the butterfly suplex, but however, Lexis King was having problems with his leg. Even William Regal tried to gave him the brass knuckles, but it didn't do well for him. He didn't want to do it. He wanted to do it honorably. But however, um, Dempsey won the match after the second round. So that's how it ends. Now, our next match, we have the in-ring debut of Zaria. She faces against Brinley Reese. You can guess that this match ended with Zaria defeating her, and with I don't know if it was an F5, but ended just like that. However, she had a surprise visit from Fatal Influence, who felt disrespected when they showed up, saying that that she interrupted their moment. However, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, who feels like people like Zaria has no business being in NXT, well, Kalani Jordan showed up to try to even the odds, and then Julia and Stephanie, and then of course a surprise visit from Jordan Grace. And it just turns out there's going to be a 10-woman tag team match happening soon. We did see those Kalani, Jordan, Kalani, Jordan, Julia, Stephanie, and of course Zaria talking for a game plan, and then they had a surprise visit from Rhea Ripley, and of course she said that she had to see this for herself. So thought it was a real fun moment to see them. Now our next match, we have Nikita Lyons versus Kelani Jordan. Now remember, Nikita Lyons, on the other hand, thinks that Kelani Jordan had her opportunity. It's time for her. However, Nikita Lyons thought she had this match won, but unfortunately, Andrea Rizzo showed up. So it's still unclear why. And then later, of course, she missed. Then Kelani Jordan applied the leg split moonsault, allowing her to pick up the win. So Kelani Jordan may have won this match. However, Nikita Lyons has to deal with Andrea Rizzo. It's later foretold that it was Lyons who attacked Andrea Rizzo in the back. So that was what the whole story is going on. Nikita Lyons has been named suspect number 1 in the attack of Andrea Rizzo. Remember, this was part of what happened before the tables, ladders, scares, and Halloween Havoc. Now, we did see a promo with Ethan Page and then Rich Holland. As you know, the whole thing was going out, and then Bub O'Ray showed up, and then, of course, Trick Williams. This led, of course, with Trick and Bubba teaming up. I wouldn't be surprised if Trick Williams shows up dressed up like a Dudley boy, which would be a lot of fun. And, of course, I can't wait to see if Bubba Ray goes, Trick, get the tables. That would be epic. If that happens, guys, thank God. Now, while things were going on in the back, apparently the referees were running into a very unusual disturbance. Apparently, Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez attacked Rhea Ripley out of nowhere, and this led to that. So that's what happened. Now, for our main event, we have, of course, the NXT Tag Team titles. Cedric Alexander and Javon Evans taking on Nathan Frazier and Axiom. The match was going pretty well at some point, but however, Wesley, who has his fair issues towards Javon Evans, well, let's just say that Javon had enough because he saw that Wesley had a chair. So basically, he left Cedric Alexander alone until, of course, Axiom pinned Cedric Alexander, leaving that into a win. So we'll see what happens between Evans and Lee. So that's going to be for another time. But for now, we are done with NXT. Let's move on with a very short news updates. So welcome to our news update. So let's begin. Now for our upcoming event, as you know, this Thursday, we have GCW with Monster Bash here in San Diego on Halloween. So we do have the match Dark Sheik versus um, Broski Jimmy. So if you guys, any of my subscribers from the San Diego area, are planning to go see them, go check them out. I won't be able to go due to the fact that I'm starting to have some symptoms of my throat, and the door is open to the outside, so I don't want to risk it. So I don't like being sick during this time of the year. Now, for our developments, Fightful Selects reports that Lita has been pitched for to work in a match in NXT. So that's going to be interesting. Now, we don't know what that could be, but it will be an interesting thing to see. So I'm sure many of you are looking forward when that day happens. Jordan Cruz, who's a local wrestler here in San Diego, just reported that he was injured and he's going to be out of action. Someone set up a GoFundMe page. So if anybody knows who Jordan Cruz is, he's a local wrestler, a former Marine. I have seen him a few times. But yeah, you should guys check him out. But if you guys know who he is or don't know who he is, go find him on his social media. Um, of course, if you guys can find his the GoFundMe page, donate what you can. Now, Nick Gage has been mentioned recently. Apparently, he's staying in rehab, and open up about his personal struggles. But apparently, it's saying that he has moved on from GCW. So don't know what's going to happen until now, but we'll just wait and see. I'm sure many people have some things they want to say. Now, recently, as you know, Chris Bay has been injured. He just put out a statement recently, and this is what he said. I just want to take a few minutes and extend my heartfelt thanks to the deepest appreciation for so much and many over the past few days. From everyone in TNA Wrestling and to the incredible medical staff here in Detroit, to my family, friends, fans worldwide, I have been praying for my full recovery from in-ring accident this past Sunday. Monday the was day one for me on a on this journey, which I know will be long and challenging. Thanks for the love and support, and please keep your prayers coming. Well, seems he's in good spirit. He knows that this is not the end. He knows that his road to recovery is going to be long and a bit painful. So, my wishes to you, man. So, hope you recover soon. And then finally, you may have heard the interesting developments about WWE having this thing called WWE ID, which is independent wrestling schools that are now affiliated with WWE. Basically, these are the schools that they mentioned. Booker T's school, Reality Wrestling, which is the same school where Roxanne Perez learned. Zilla Fatu. We have Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory in Atlanta. We have Seth Rollins' Black and Brave Academy in Davenport, Iowa. Elite Pro Wrestling Training Center in Concord, New Hampshire, and then Knox Pro Wrestling in Los Angeles. Now, these are schools where, of course, WWE will keep an eye on those wrestlers in the independents who will make their way to WWE. However, there are people who are saying that this could be a bad idea. They're saying that look at what happened in NXT UK. Many of the independent wrestling promotions down in the UK lost most of their business because certain wrestlers that appeared in NXT UK were pulled out. So I don't know if it's a good idea or not. That's something I cannot, but it's kind of interesting of what they're going to do. So I'm not going to judge it until see how it works. If it works in their favor, that's cool. So we'll just leave things as it is as we speak. But for now, let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we will have AEW Dynamite, and of course, more with New Japan continuing with, I think this is day 5 of Super Junior Tag League, so we'll focus on that. Haven't decided yet because apparently my day has not turned out the way I hope because I realized I messed up for Wednesday. So I apologize for that. So we'll see what happens. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. and have a nice day. Bang.